Hello, oracles. Well, Tesla saw a little bit of a breakout today from the pattern we have been tracking. Is this a true breakout or is it just a fake out? We will take a look at that and we will take a look at the reasons why we got this little bit of a breakout today. With the PPI data coming in lower than expected, we also got some information about Tesla going over to India and all of this just ahead of earnings next week. So we will get into all of that in just a minute. All right, so jumping into the charts, again, up just over 2%, closing at 277.90 on the day. So looking at these trends here, if you look at a shot over the last month, we've been making higher lows and higher highs. So we have been trending upwards with a little bit of a downtrend in the middle here. So the question, of course, is going to be, where are we going to be going in the future? Of course, nobody knows. We've got earnings next week. We've got RSI at 66, and volume was still relatively low. So, movements like this in low volume, you really want to pay attention. It's not like we had a giant candlestick with us pushing up at this level. I think, again, we're still waiting for the earnings next week before we see some real volume coming in. But looking at where we are at, again, we've got this gap down to 235, but this nice breakout here, are we going to continue? Maybe we push higher. We do have some room to grow. We will see how we trade tomorrow going into the weekend. And so looking at PPI numbers for today, we had a forecast of 0.4%. We came in at 0.1%. This is the headline year over year number, 0.1%. That is not a month over month number. We have a lot of signs that are indicating deflation is coming. And one of the big concerns here is we really still have a hot housing market. The Fed is looking to bring that down, and they're looking to still straighten out the labor market. So, with that going on, if they have to keep on pushing interest rates even higher, that is definitely going to push us into deflationary territory. That could lead to some ugly things in the market in the future. So, again, these are just the things that I'm looking at as we're looking down the road. And again, this is not long term stuff. This is just a what is the last hurdle we need to get over before we can actually go back to a true bull market. So, again, this discussion of, ugly things coming, it's just a blip on the radar in the long term, something that we feel every 10 years. So I still think that that is coming. And again, these signs are starting to point to that. All right, so now jumping over to some of the really good bullish fundamental stuff going on, Open Skies tweets out, Tesla has started discussions with the Indian government for a proposal to set up a car factory in the country with an annual capacity of 500,000 EVs, the Times of India reported on Thursday. The prices would start from 2 million rupees, which is $24,400.66. Now, two key pieces to take away from this. First off, 500,000 EVs, you're thinking, well, why would they have a factory that small? But if you look back to Berlin when that first came up, they said the capacity there was also 500,000 vehicles. We know full well, with expansions, they're looking to push it to at least 1 million, if not 2 million vehicles coming out of Berlin. So this is just the stepping stone. This is just the starting point for India, starting with a capacity of 500,000 vehicles. No doubt they're going to expand this. Now, when you start looking at the pricing, $24,000, that falls right in line with the rumors that we got about the Model 2 coming out of Mexico being between $22,000 and $25,000. So, sounds like we are going to be getting a factory in India that is also going to be producing this Model 2. Now, as we've discussed before, when it comes to India, their car market is not very large. So they could not sell vehicles like the Model Y there anywhere near as well as they could in many other places in the world. They would need to be selling a vehicle such as the Model 2 over in India to be successful. So it sounds like this is what they are doing over in India. Elon already told us flat out we should see something in the next year. So we might even hear about official stuff coming out of there from, Tesla themselves, maybe by Q2 earnings, maybe Q3 earnings, maybe before the end of the year, we will hear something official about Giga India. This might actually end up being the factory in Asia Pacific that we were talking about. And man, I look way back to the beginning and I thought India all along was going to be the next place. Then all the stuff came up about how India didn't want to play ball. They didn't want to lower any of their import taxes, any of that stuff. So sounds like Tesla is working on an entire supply chain going into there to make sure that they can get all the supplies that they need to keep the costs down. So it sounds like this is in the works. We will see this. And I'm guessing if it goes up and running, we might see that start to produce vehicles very shortly after Mexico. So it looks like they're going to be one after another, and it could be something very similar to Berlin and Austin. The only difference in this case is it's going to be producing the Model 2 instead of the Model Y, whereas currently Berlin and Austin are producing the car that is going to be the best selling vehicle in the world this year. We're looking at probably Mexico and India will be producing the best selling car in the world in probably 2027 or 2028. We'll see if my timing is right on that. And looking at some other long term bullish implications for Tesla, we're looking at a tweet from Sawyer Merritt, and this is about Twitter and their ad revenue. And you may ask, well, how is Twitter's ad revenue going to be beneficial for Tesla? Twitter has released the requirements to join the Creator Ads Revenue Sharing Program. To be considered eligible, you must be subscribed to Twitter Blue or verified organizations, have at least 5 million impressions on your posts in each of the last 3 months, pass human review for creator monetization standards. Twitter says it will soon launch an application process for ads revenue sharing. Creators will be able to apply for both creator subscriptions and creator ads revenue sharing by accessing monetization in their settings. So again, the reason why this is very bullish for Tesla is because of the fact that the questions about last year, Elon buying Twitter, Elon having to sell Tesla shares just to be able to float Twitter along, then the question is Elon going to be able to get Twitter profitable enough in 2023 so that he doesn't have to sell any more shares in 2024? All of these questions can almost be erased strictly by this. Now, this is going to be a twofold thing. First off, they're kind of putting out the money there to pay all their very top tier content creators because that's going to help entice more people to come to the platform, more people to utilize the platform. That in turn is going to draw in more ad revenue that they utilize. That in turn is going to help the financials for Twitter. That in turn is then going to make sure that Twitter is going to be stable on its own and make sure that Elon doesn't need to sell any more shares to float Twitter along. So that is why this is extremely bullish. This means that Twitter will most likely be self-sufficient very soon. They're going to be creating more of this coming out, enticing more people to come onto the platform, having more ad revenue generation coming in, very much like YouTube does. So that's what all of these platforms do, and Twitter had never done this before. And we're seeing from Sawyer Merritt, going back to February, they paid him out a little over $6,400. So with that money coming in, it's not something that like you would see from like a YouTube or somewhere else, but that's a great starting point when it comes to what Twitter is going to be paying out, considering Sawyer and Omar and all of these people have been on Twitter doing as much as they have been doing and not getting paid squat for it. Now they're starting to see the benefits of it. They're starting to reap the rewards of all the hard work they put in previously. This is awesome to see. Now it's going to give a lot more people opportunities. And again, this here is going to mean that Elon probably doesn't need to sell any shares of Tesla when we get into 2024, at least not for, floating Twitter along. So very, very bullish here on that front. And then lastly, we've got Elon coming out yesterday tweeting, announcing formation of XAI to understand reality. He's coming out with this company, an AI company that is going to seek to find the answers of the universe. So there was a Twitter Spaces about it today. I did not have a chance to listen to it yet. If any of you have, please let us know in the comments what was going on there and your thoughts on it. Again, I'll be listening to it myself later, but AI is the future. And Elon getting into AI, especially when it comes to FSD, Optimus, real human life application AI, there's a lot to be unlocked with AI. So another bullish piece coming out for Tesla for the future is this endeavor into AI as well. So a lot of awesome things. The breakout is awesome, whether it lasts or not. Again, long-term shareholders does not matter. All of this information is awesomely bullish. We will go into earnings next week. Excited about all of this. So regardless of what the market decides to do with earnings next week, who cares? Peggy and I will be on this Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, to discuss our thoughts on earnings. He's got his estimates up and running. I shared the rough ones of my own this past week. I'm going to update mine on Saturday, so I will give you guys all a fresh look. Anybody who is a member or patron, you'll get to see all of those on Saturday before I go live with Peggy on Sunday. I'll share those with you guys, but such an awesome future we have ahead of us. I am so unbelievably excited to see what Tesla is going to bring us in the future. And We are all going to be very excited by this, I think, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think about India. Let me know what you guys think about AI. Let me know what you guys think about the inflation and whether you think we're going to get deflation in the future. All of that good stuff. Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support. Have a great one.